What's up, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of my update, the final day of my fast. And I'll be honest, it was a tough one. The main reason was that I just had a horrible night's sleep last night, and it was completely just related to being a parent. I had 2 different kids get up at 3 different times in the middle of the night, and so I just did not sleep very well at all. And I will say, I woke up hungrier and felt that sort of energy drain today a bit steeper than I did the day before. But like I said, it's a little hard to pick apart. Like if you're only sleeping like 5 hours of sleep at night, then you're not going to feel that good the next day. So after I kind of did our normal morning routine, I actually just closed my eyes. I didn't actually sleep, but I just closed my eyes for 20 minutes, and that really helped me for the rest of the day. I had a busy day, so I didn't do a full workout like I have the other days. And I feel like I haven't actually talked about why I felt the need to continue to work out while I was fasting. It's certainly not necessary if you're trying this out. And the first time I did this a year ago, I did not work out. I really anticipated 3 days of not having a lot of energy, so I didn't plan much in those 3 days, which was a really wise thing to do the first go around. But this go around, this 3-day fasting, it really is I've said in other videos, it is a jumpstart to get me really ready for this 90-day challenge that's going to be happening soon. And when I did that last year, there was so much knowledge, so much new information, so much new understanding of my own body that I went through just actually trying things and seeing how my metabolism and my body reacted to them. And I walked away from that experience with this amazing new understanding and trust in what I could do, what I was capable of. And I just knew the way that my body can actually work in these modes. And one of the things that I learned about is that sometimes we think about losing fat or dropping weight. And then we also think about gaining muscle. And I think in the past, I've thought that your body's doing one or the other. It's just like switching these different modes. But the reality is these processes are happening inside of us at any given moment of the day at all times. And understanding what the right stimulus or activity or behaviors you need to do in order to promote either or both of those happenings in your body, it's a really crucial thing to understand, to practice, to test out, and to see for yourself. All this stuff that I'm sharing with you is about my experience, and I imagine if you were to try the same thing, certain things would apply and certain things wouldn't. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is to empower you to figure out yourself if you are so curious, because ultimately you can follow a program. You can find out about some studies and information, but until you actually try it, you won't know until what works for you. And like I said, doing this and finding what works and what doesn't work, it's given me this just incredible new ownership and understanding of this body that I have. And it's hard to put into words what that unlocks and what it can give to you. But let me back up to these 2 processes of losing weight and gaining muscle. You're going to lose fat whenever you are in a calorie deficit. And you can have a calorie deficit in multiple ways. You can live your life the exact same way and just consume less calories. It will result in you burning fat. When you're only in a calorie deficit, your body doesn't only use the fat stores for energy. Your body will use your muscle as well. And so that can be a problem because muscle takes time and it can be a challenge to actually put on. And muscle is a key factor in long-term health and longevity. And when I understood this, I understood that my goal was very clear, that I want to lose fat, but I also want to maintain and even gain muscle. And it's completely possible. But you just have to understand how your body works and what behaviors and activities you need to be involved in to promote both of those things to happen. And one of the things to do when you are in a calorie deficit, it's important to work out, to do what strength training does, which is to put such stress on your muscles to promote healing and growth so that you become stronger and your muscles grow bigger. And from the research that I've looked into, from people that I've talked to, even from my own experience, you can lose body fat and build muscles at the same time. But you have to be exercising those muscles and promoting that stimuli, essentially. And so that is the reason why I wanted to continue working out, even when I was in this 0 calorie deficit, essentially, where I'm not gaining, I'm not putting any calories into my body. I want my muscles to be feeling the stimulus, to know that it needs to continue to build, to continue to go, and to try to continue that process as much as possible. Now, there are other factors to consider and things to employ, which I've done in the past and I will be doing in this 90 days. And that is, if you are putting yourself in a calorie deficit, you also want to be eating enough protein so that your body has those proteins and those amino acids to actually build the muscle. Obviously, that's not happening here, but in a 3-day fast, I'm not terribly concerned about losing a lot of muscle. Muscle just doesn't leave like that overnight. But that being said, working out was not only a way to keep my mind occupied, but also to keep myself in the routine of working out, which I have been doing this entire last year, even after the 90 days, and even after my eating changed. After that period, I still continued to work out on a pretty regular basis throughout the entire year, even until when this holiday season hit and my eating just went unconscious and I got into these binges and these just sugar cravings, which brought me to here. So I just wanted to share that to have some understanding of why I was working out. You certainly wouldn't need to if you were to do something like this yourself. I just wanted to point out one other insight that came to me while I was doing this today, when it was hard, when it was challenging. It just brought me back to the basics of doing anything that we want to accomplish or try or be curious about. It's not going to be easy to not eat for 3 days. Even as I was surprised in the first couple of days that it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I met the resistance today in many different ways. And it's really easy in those moments to give up. In fact, right now, even as I'm doing this video, it's about 9 o'clock. And I started my fast around 9:30. So technically speaking, around this time right now would be 3 24-hour periods. But I told myself I was going to do 3 full days, sleep the last day. And there's this part in my mind right now that's even telling me, you've technically done it right now. You could totally eat. And that sounds so good right now on one level. But this is taking me back to this original premise of trying something and meeting resistance. And what do you do? And essentially that is the moment that I'm practicing, that we're all practicing at any given moment in our lives. The choice, do I eat another cookie, is the moment of resistance, of what do you do? What do you make in that choice? What are your goals? What do you want to do? The moment when you're working out and it's really hard to do that last rep, and you decide to dig in and to continue to go, or you continue to stop. In so many ways, every point of life is about us meeting these moments of resistance. And what do we do? Regardless of whether it's doing weights or working on a book that you're working on, getting stuck with an interpersonal relationship at a job or at a school or in your family. These moments of resistance are really where we learn, where we test ourselves, and where we figure out that we're capable of more. And so, yeah, technically I could go inside and eat right now, but I'm looking at that in this really conscious way. and realizing, no, like this is just one of those moments of resistance. And I want to follow through and do what I said I was going to do and wait till tomorrow morning. And I know that I will love that moment when I finally have something to eat. But big or small, these moments where you're on the edge of a decision, of a fork in the road, like that is the actual like muscle that I'm building through this entire process this last year, in so many other ways, in deciding to do a number of different things. It's all been about meeting that resistance and deciding what to do in that moment. And when you are able to overcome those like moments of resistance, that's where you're gaining strength in all sorts of different ways, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual. Like there's this 360 application to this concept, I think, in our lives. It's so strange that like a music theater art guy growing up in Detroit and just pursuing music and music production, and being a quote unquote creative, is like being transformed by this whole challenge to understand and relate to my body in a different way. It's not at all what I would have expected to to be doing at this point in my life at all. But it's inspiring, and so here we are. All right, that's it for tonight and for today. Thanks for listening. I'm going to be doing one more video tomorrow after I start eating again, because whether you do a fast for a day or 3 days or a week or a month, you have to be conscious about reintroducing food. You just don't want to go back to eating the way that you used to, because at least for me right now, like that's the whole reason why I'm doing this, is to change some habits that I've been in, some patterns, and to create a more conscious, healthy relationship with eating. But your system too just needs to be respected, because your energy is low. Your digestive system is going through all sorts of processes, and to just throw anything right back into your system can actually create more discomfort and more problems. And so tomorrow I'll talk a little bit about that after I jump into my first full day of eating after this 3-day water fast. And so, yeah, come back and check that out when it's up. All right. Thanks, guys.